Raise it high up the ladder. Let we set it on fire. Give me some fire. A little more calypso.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Oui Culture. And of course, let me again apologize for the late start. In fact, we're starting later than last week, and it's a little beyond our control, but of course before long that will be over. All right, so we thank you for your patience, and again we do apologize. All right, so this evening, folks, we got well, actually it will be the last program for about a week. Next week we won't have any program because of course it's a big day. Next Saturday, actually, the biggest cultural event in Grenada, the Hubbard's Legends and Contest, is happening on July 8th. So we won't have any program. In fact, I'm going off on a couple days leave next week, and so we'll be back the following week. All right. So definitely, and then again, you all would be at Legends and Concerts, so there won't be anybody home to look at Oui Culture. Or Oui Culture going to be at the Trade Center. All right. So again, we apologize, but the team is here and we are ready. Tonight we have something very interesting. Remember last week I told you the ban your belly because it's more hurricane to come. And the man that sing that song, let me tell you a little secret about that song. In what year? It was 2000 and what, boy? 2006, I think it is. Yeah, that is how talented the man is. The man go in the ministerial complex. He had one verse, and he go in the ministerial complex and he try a thing, and he come back with a couple of other verses. And according to the talk, he could say what he want. Although they give him a nickel. They give him a nickel. Could you imagine that? Oh boy. And the Isaac come second, and my good partner come third. Anyway, no. Was third? No, wasn't third, boy. Yeah, I think it was third. Anyway, let's welcome the team, man. Of course, we gotta welcome the Queen first tonight. But wait, everybody in pink. What going on? Reece, what happened? How come everybody in pink and I know about that? You're muted.
I don't know why everyone is in pink. It must be divine intervention. And I think it's because maybe we traditionally would clear up our spaces every now and then. But because you continue to have that Christmas backdrop for the last 2 years.
I know Christmas backdrop.
That divine thing really just does not come your way because you don't allow for the inspiration. You've been coursing Christmas for the last 2 years.
You see, you against me?
No.
I know what you know. I know what is your problem. Your problem is you're living in the dark side of the sun. So you can't see. You can't see. You live in the dark side of the sun. So you better come in the light. Come in the light. Come in the light like us. No, all of us see the sunshine, but you're in the dark side of the sun.
Too hot. It's not too hot. I want to live on the dark side of the sun.
The sun too hot. Well, you just had to get heat. Doc, where get a bad long sleeve shot? I never. We'll come in here and you haven't, you know. Doc, I figure that nice shot blocking the microphone, man. You're breaking up. I know I'm going on with you. Wait. Why you in the dark side of the sun too? What told you to that?
I thought everything was okay. You're not hearing me?
Well, I hear you now. You come out in the, now you come out in the light. Now you come out in the light.
Scala, good night to all the listeners on this program. Apparently, Scala song real have you walked up, boy. That calypso have you real.
That calypso.
You're showing what's left, right, and center.
That calypso already. That calypso. I don't like that calypso. But it's a good thing. Anyway, it's a good thing he ain't taking part.
Joke you're making.
You don't take it. You can't take part. You say you ain't taking part already. Who registered it?
Yeah, I'm telling you, I know. Are they close to the thing now?
Yeah, guess appearance. Yeah, you will get a...
God. Godfrey.
Yes,
Yeah.
Who they call Pat?
Who they call what?
Pat.
Who they call Pat?
Pat, yeah.
I know who they call Pat.
Who they call Pat?
Who they call Pat?
You say it's a good thing he ain't taking part.
Yeah, well, hey. You are talking about paternity?
I don't mind man, you can't do
that guy is saying, who they call Pat? I will tell you who they call Pat. You want to know? I only know Pat's surname. I didn't know Pat's name.
Yeah, well, I'll find you already.
His surname, Pat's surname is Anity. Anyway, man, let me tell you, you put on a bad Busaka history, man.
Nah, but because you don't really choose because you have a man, maybe because what you tell me about.
Mr. Man, what? Don't try that, you know. As you start, I tell you about 2012, you know. You know what I talk about 2012. You just get vexed here.
Information has to come out close.
Don't let me tell you about 2012. Eh? Let me tell you about. No, when you get your set and sue, you will find out. You have to make pen to put it here.
I know you put that.
Let the people know what we're talking about.
That total information. It's a good thing. It's a good thing if you say me. I say it's not me, it's Doc. I say it's Doc, and they gonna believe me. I know why they gonna believe me.
But let me just say good night to my fellow Oui Cultures.
Am I sound like a politician there?
But how you mean?
Especially Doc. I like that shot.
That come a bad shot.
That a bad shot.
That shot. Doc, hold on. Doc, I find surely that shot for legends.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shot for legends, Jay. You can't just wear that shot. So
I say that you better just know what you come in and do with legends. If you feel legends is going to be a repeat of Spice Basket.
Why you doing Spice Basket? Oh,
you forget?
Yeah.
All in the picture.
Well, don't worry. I have it my troops. We waiting.
You better arrange that sitting in such a way that it gets saved.
You see, I would be on my best behavior. I will ensure you sit.
Here is what. You can't have a repeat because, first of all, you don't have stone in the center. For you to go and see the one with
He has sidewalk wall.
I'm protecting Reece. I'm giving special instruction. Unless Reece and go inside, don't let Doc pass. Don't let Doc pass. Reece, if he come early and Reece and Reece yet, he have to stand by the door until Reece come. Let me see.
No AC for you. No AC.
Let me see what go happen. Anyway, guys, he late already because they don't rob us a whole how much been inside. And I well vexed, but don't think nothing. We go make up
We need to put up the name of the program tonight.
Well, I did. I already informed Timon.
Okay.
Yes. So tonight we're talking about the original paternity test. Here it comes, man. Look at it right up on the screen there. So folks, tonight we're having a wonderful time. You remember the days? Let me start by saying you remember the days when a baby born, Granny had to come, and a lot of times Granny was the one because in the olden days we didn't have You couldn't go in hospital and thing. So Granny coming and Granny doing it. Granny was midwife for everything. And Granny handled everything. And when Granny finished and everything set, Scholar, what is happened? What was Granny next work?
Granny stepped back and she scoped. Granny put it under the radar.
That's right.
And that is where the test coming in, the radar doing the test.
Yeah.
and then you have certain characteristics. So you have certain box that Granny ticking in she head.
Yeah.
So I got to know the boxes tick. You know, then you determine the paternity of the child. And the truth is, it is something that, while it is not as prevalent, but it has endured.
Of course it has.
It has endured. Because you know for a fact that people, especially in Grenada, everybody knows everybody's father. And that's, you see, that is the argument that we are always made to Reece as it relates to paternity versus maternity. You see, we men, and when I say we men, I don't mean women. I mean, we the men, we always walk on eggshells. And while you're beating up, you always beat up on men and so on, but you ladies don't know what it feels like. You don't have the experience. So sometimes you have to walk in the shoes to really understand. But that was
what experience are you talking about? What is the experience?
Anyway,
what shoe? What old cockroach killer are you talking about?
Pink and white shirt, man.
Yeah, time for Doc. You have to give a a little address on that. Doc, come on, let me go.
Give us an address. Tell us where that came from, because I know that come from Africa.
Well, Wales, of course. Wales, come on, you say if you had to say that.
No, wait, no. But I overdoing this thing now.
What?
So, well, my little note, the paternity test, as Godfrey rightfully said, was actually done by the grandmothers. Not by grandfathers, but by the grandmothers. They would look and they would decide if the toe, the nose, the pharynx, I would say pharynx.
Well, if you didn't say pharynx, just stop you and correct you.
But I think for me, the two things that was really standard, the ears, the nose, and the nose. Those two things help a lot in determining whether that belonged to the Nelson clan, the Macklin clan, or the Jeffrey clan, or the Augustine clan.
Macklin and Sam Jean Strong.
Yes, so it was determined by them. And lo and behold, the fathers were there, and they basically had no say. But you know what was actually striking? In some cases, the maternity test or the DNA test, the maternity test was not always determined by those outward protrusion, by the nose or the ears or the but sometimes it was influenced by what society believe or what the gossip say or the perception of the child bearer, I mean the mother. So sometimes if you're just a situation where there were rumors where the lady was not behaving, don't start creeping in. And that litmus test, whether it's the nose or the eyes, became clouded. And the outcome became biased. Because I saw Godfrey walking down the road with Joan, and Joan's supposed to be mine, and all of a sudden Godfrey going around corners. So that those rumors circulating in the community kind of prejudice sometimes the outcome of that paternity test. That's supposed to be tests be done mainly just because of those physical features. So I'm saying sometimes it was clean, but sometimes the outcome was being tainted and being biased because of the information that was pervaded in society.
So in other words, that test mainly used to work in whose favor, the men or the women?
No, but I mean, if it was good, if it was done with all this the biasness or the gossip that was taking place in society, usually I think the grandparents did a good job. But I've heard of a situation where they did that test and they refused to pronounce the findings, because again, sometimes the conversation and the nose don't look so much like the Jeffrey, or the ears don't look so much like the Jeffrey, and don't. So somebody laughed jaw, and they refuse to pronounce the finding because don't start creeping in, and you see.
In other words, you have a split decision. It's not unanimous.
You have a split decision.
But Reece, let's hear you. I'm very keen on hearing. No, definitely.
No.
Very keen on hearing your perspective.
First of all, me really bother to listen to Doc,
How is that?
I even bother to listen to ask you.
Well, we want to hear because.
And I find let those experts on paternity tests, King and you, all you go through. Yes.
Why not about that?
Go through. All you want to know about paternity tests.
Let me tell you.
Because I sure hear he mentioned about maternity tests, and I mean I pop. And I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? Maternity test? When does that do maternity test?
Sorry, paternity test.
Yeah, but you see, but what I was trying to when that is done. So for example, Doc, when Granny come and Granny watch the big toe, and she find the toe pointing to the inside or the point to the outside, and that is not how.
That's how the clan.
Yeah, that's scholar toe and they so. So the question arises. Now doubts are going to start coming in.
Yes.
Right? Now in a situation like that, so you have the mother, you have the father, and you have a child that have features that just not matching in a particular direction. I want to know who does have more palpitation between the mama and the poopa.
Well, hold on. Because I find you and Doc, and I agree with Reece should take part in that. Because tonight I find I hear too much big words. Yeah?
What a big one?
What else do you, man? I look not the whole
vocabulary.
And I was about to ask a question using a big word, What are you guys hypothesizing? What is it that grandparents are usually right?
No. Here's one, and that's the truth about it. No, the whole paternity test issue stem and takes greater significance, especially if you have this enduring word that has infiltrated our Grenadian society for as long as we can remember.
Yeah, big word, but infiltrated.
And because of that, we can't separate the two. And that is the fact. And here's where we see, I don't know how to get Reece right. Look. No, you can't separate the two. And here, that's the fact. Now, in Grenada, you have this word, just a 4-letter word, but it's a word that takes on great significance in the Grenadian society. You see that word they call on? No, it's a word that means infidelity, right? Which is something that has endured forever. But in the Grenadian society, it takes on a particular kind of meaning. I heard once Rachel Price was in a show, and Rachel Price for the love of her, she understands this planning thing. Or you have an next word, next letter word, they say boot, which she understands this thing. But she doesn't understand it in the Grenadian context. And why is it that it is so popular? Right? And this has always been the subject of a lot of songs and so on. You could date back to Lady Beginner donkey years ago when Lady Beginner said, man, trade on. And a man's your hand is where you are, and so on. And then up to today, you could bet your life every single year in Grenada around carnival time. Two topics. You must see that drafting and hand. See that today, the most day song. You could do what you want. And Rachel Pines was making the point that she doesn't understand this concept in the Grenadian society because Grenada is so small, first of all. Everybody know everybody. Africa pass. You know the Godfrey song. You don't have to see if that truck pass. You know that truck song. You know. Yeah. So she's baffled. All this thing takes place, and it is against that backdrop that all of those start to prepare. And this is where the whole paternity test with the eye and the granny and the village and the community starts to take root. And mind you, a lot of the time, it's not right. A lot of the time, they will say, why, that child look up, because the truth is that. And you always hear, you see black man look at black man. Black man look at black man. You might go all in Asia and see a black man who just as that.
No, definitely.
That's true. Right? The black man look at black man, but people always think that and you're up. So then you make them forward, so that you can hand trade. But they don't care, they put it together. And sometimes you hear them say, boy, that child look at that's dark child. And sometimes that makes no reason.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
But and you see,
grandparents and them is getting wrong.
But let me tell you,
claim pretty children and they don't want to claim ugly children, but about nice here running the family and you're watching on top of their head and you don't see any nice here. They talking about but they talking about the children, the people family knows they how and all of them knows how like a finger bend so and all kind of stupidness.
No. I mean, and it is true. The fact is, when babies born, for example, all babies are born with what we call like a coolie here, you know.
And when you and light skin.
Yes, light and most children does born and they're red, you know. And they are like a coolie here, you know. And after that, soon as you see a good 2 days pass and a month, the hairs are to turn as I do come like dark and scarlet, you know.
And some of them, so that first they don't want to accept it, They saying you do things to the child here, you know. You burn up the child in the sun, that's why the child get dark, and you do things to the child here, that's why the child texture change. That was natural, that was expected, that was supposed to happen.
Children is born with a lot of times a full head of hair. And by the time they are 2 months, you have one place and have a set of hair, and a next part don't have none, and all this kind of thing. But I just want to look at the fallout a little bit before we bounce back of this whole paternity test.
Before you go to that, let me probably just take it the background to that. Now, paternity test becomes an important thing because there is this thing in us, and I think this is generational, where it is for a man there is a level of pride in passing on his legacy, his blood lineage, his traits. So when you are in a relationship, you want somebody to reflect the qualities that you believe that you have. So if you believe you're strong, you're intelligent, or you're a certain features, I mean, I think that every one of us believe we have a certain positive trait. So we want that offspring is like an investment in a replication or a duplication of who we are. So it becomes very important, and it was a family matter, that the family tree lives on. And so the idea of that paternity test before we have this
Doc. So the lineage that has to continue, right?
Yes, we see. It was
the lineage that has to continue. What does that have to do with irresponsible decision making under 4 eyes, where man turn beast and they really don't care whether the lineage that they link
no, I mean they don't care.
So,
but you see, but the problem.
How you mean they don't care?
But I agree with
that. That is what we call Han.
No, but Doc.
There is a breach in the contract.
But Doc, no, let me tell you, I agree with Reece, but the problem is here is the problem. And I think, Doc, to some aspect you said it right. So for example, if Reece, right? Let's say if Reece like Calypso, right?
Yeah. And
she got her pregnant. The child supposed to be scholar child because she wants the child to be a Calypsonian. So it's scholar child. And I think a lot of times, let me explain. So, and when you see, and you mentioned the point about lineage and people wanting to pass on certain things. And a lot of times it happened. And some of these things were concocted and they were not true at all. So a lot depended on what people perceived or what they wanted. So all they needed was a little window. So for example, you see the girl and scholar probably say hello, maybe once or twice, but you don't know. You want the child to come out to be a Calypsonian, so automatically the child is supposed to be a scholar child. And the fact,
I don't understand you. That one, Godfrey.
No,
the same analogy, right? The same analogy. So the child shows, like, they like to pick up mic and they chanting, they rendering. So that to be scholar child. But tell me why it cannot be Godfrey child, because Godfrey only having a set of Calypso show all the time. Yeah? The thing
but right, no, here is it. But you see a lot, and in those days, the plenty bearing was on success.
But Godfrey, let me
was on success.
Godfrey, one of the biggest for men, part of the pride you have is that the child become a reflection of sometime of your dreams, your aspirations, or something like that. So you want the child to adapt to have that trait.
Yeah, but hold on a second. I think you're misunderstanding. You're speaking from the man's perspective. I am speaking from the perspective of the paternity test. And when the test is done, what is expected? So some of the decisions that was incorrect. This is where I'm speaking from.
No, I understand, but I'm saying the basis for the paternity test is that strength, that desire from the male to pass on that trait. So it is important that the test is done. So when the family come together, right? When the family come together and the grandmother come, they also want to ensure that trait of the father passed on. So they want to have a correct diagnosis of actually what is the situation. You don't want to have a false reading. So
at what level do these paternity tests happen? At what level? At what age? Because I find we go into teenage there.
No, not teenage. No, I'm talking about days when the child is born. Days.
So how do you know if the child has Calypso in the blood?
No, Godfrey come with Calypso. I had nothing to say about Calypso.
No, let me tell you.
Hold on. How do you know the child would not be as dark as scholar, right?
That is
but
why
born fair, and you find he look more like your people, so that have to be your people. And another time, they don't know what they're talking about. Don't make joke if a child born Down syndrome. He's not a child.
Yeah, but you see, the whole thing is that the paternity test is not a one-off. Like the whole thing, Reece. Paternity test is not a one-off. So you have all the paternity test that is describing. But as the child develops, yeah, if that child is still under the microscope, especially if what I had described there is some level of thinking or suspicion that somehow the banking business takes, right? Then the microscope is there and you're watching the development. And while the development taking place, paternity is taking place.
Understood.
Now the whole thing about what Doc is saying, while that might be so, now the whole issue is that you have also the whole concept of strong against weak genes. Yeah, that is something that has to be put into the mixture as well. Because some man, according to the blood strong, so as you see a child, you know, but yes, some man, they give the blood strong.
The gene.
Yeah.
So you take a long time for the things to show up.
Yeah, they say blood too. Yeah, the genes. Sometimes it take a long time, or sometimes. What we do not understand is that you may not pass on something to your children, but you
because genes weak.
And it doesn't mean the genes are weak, but what you may pass on is something from the grandmother.
From the
or great grandmother to the child. Because you have some children what don't look as a father and don't look as a mother.
Yeah, they look like grandparents and things, you know.
Yeah, you mean they look as grandparents.
Or siblings.
But Scott,
hold on. So when that happens, the paternity test becomes even more modern. Even more modern. Because now you have to look back in the lineage according to you to figure out where this thing came from. And then, for instance, I know, and this is funny in our generational thing and in our culture, once an Indian and a Negro make a child, the child had to start here.
A Douglas.
But I know Indian and Negro, I know one instance where Indian and Negro make child, and the child here hard, worse than that here.
and that again, as they say, it depends on how strong the blood is.
Yeah, but that is cause for a paternity test.
But of course.
But Scala, that one, there must be something. I mean, that one, you have to revisit that test, the result of that test.
Nah, man.
The situation you describe it.
No. I know one instance, the father is an Indian, the mother is a Negro, and the child is a hard Negro, but all the child features are like the father.
Yeah. No, it happens.
But it happens. Negro?
No, Doc, where you would need to revisit, if both of them is Indian, and the child here come out like yours, you have a problem there.
What I find funny, nobody has seen my hair now. They see Scala
no, but we know. But we know you here. We know.
Scala here you see now. It's my hair you're referencing.
But what? Yeah, but Scala talk about your hair just now.
Basically, just we analyze that your hair groupy and you don't like it, so you just take it all off. So we just accept your reason for taking it off, and we're using that. So we don't need to see it here. We just need to know the reason why you are here doing it.
No, it was growing too fast, too soft, too fast.
Who here was going fast?
Too soft, too fast.
Hold on. Somebody share a message with me. They said, "Good night, folks. I was told that after my grandmother looked at my toes, she said to my dad, 'That child is yours. Look at the toes.' And the person says the second toe was longer than the big toe. And the father had the same kind of toes."
Reece, Godfrey, you know, generally, scholar made a point that is important. But those real PhD doctors, I mean, those real qualified ones, they don't just look at the immediate parents. They know about the grandfather and the grandmother. So sometimes they don't see the feature, let us say in me, but they see my mother or my father fit here in that baby, and then they claim it. Those that do it without bias, I believe in the past, they basically used to do a good job of it, at it.
But what features you could see that like a baby that just born?
We don't know about that. We don't train in that field. Those mothers, those grandparents used to see that.
See what?
They would identify your hair, they would identify your nose, they would identify.
That's why I asked the question. Are we hypothesizing
Here's the
that
problem.
grandparents were always right? Because that is the road that Livingston going on, eh?
No. I'm saying those that were very qualified, but are also
qualified.
But I also showing there was some level of biasness. That probably could come into the whole equation. Example, they didn't like that family. They find the girl tricking the man bad.
The man that come out in a good. Hold on, the man that come out in a good race.
No. It's not the man. The paternity test was to determine the child of the man. So they wonder if the girl is bad, if she comes out in a bad family, blah blah blah, and that might influence the decision. On the other hand, if they like the girl family, no matter what happened, die the man child. So Reece, when it happened like that, it was influenced by outside happenings, not by the raw data.
Oh really? Do you know among the children that are adults today, right?
Yeah.
That are still hurting over grandparents' paternity tests? Because it's not a son child,
and that is one of the fallouts.
They didn't. That's a didn't trade, man.
A lot of fellas, because of, let me tell you, because of that paternity test, a lot of fellas don't mind their children, you know.
Yes, because it was not the fathers that telling them now, you know, it was the mothers.
But the grandparents,
they don't like the girl. They don't like the girl family. I just say that when those biasness creep in, the real data does not get looked upon in its scientific sense. What you have other influences.
The scientific on the air.
The experiment, you have little errors in it, but we should take some
Facebook, some comments.
All right, I'm using my phone for this, so I don't think Cynthia was happy with your greeting of who are the listeners and all that. You did not mention about the online, so I think she wasn't happy about that. We have Dodo is saying, did scholar and the doctor plan the colors tonight? She's also saying Granny used to look at the fingers and toes and tell you if that is her son's child, and they used to get it right. Martin is saying paternity tests, laughing out loud. If they're going to do it in Grenada, plenty people will be surprised with the results, because in those days, the toe and the foot and the mouth look alike is yours. Once it look alike. Alexandra Villas is saying, good night to all. Hope everyone had a productive week. Good topic. Dodo is saying, those grannies used to make it known if that child was not their son's child. She's also saying there were 2 grannies in my area who was famous for that. One time, both their sons' name was calling as the father of the child. They both went to see the child at different times. They both claimed it is their son's child by looking at certain features of the child. But it turned out it was none of their son's child at age 5, as the child features changed to be of the real father. Dodo is saying, yes, Doc, you are correct. They used to analyze the woman. Cynthia is saying, he said all going to be at the show, so no need to be on. Oh, is that what again? Oh, that was for you being absent next week. Right, so those are the comments that I'm seeing. I don't know if I've missed anything, but that's what I'm seeing.
So there's a couple on the WhatsApp platform. So somebody said, good evening all. Maybe I tuned in late. What's with the color purple tonight? I see Doc, Reece, and Scarlet in purple.
That person, we need to give him a voucher for television.
No, we had person the eyes, right? We had to give him a paternity test. We had a paternity test on the eyes.
But you know what? Just tell a person, if their name was in jump up with 2 different people and they weren't sure, this is a test right there. Whoever sight bad, that is your father.
That's where you go. So someone says, yes, Godfrey. Well, no, that's anyway. They say all born like Indians, all children, in other words. Right. People resembles people. No matter where you go, someone will take you for someone you've never known. Well, yeah, that scholar made the point earlier that no matter where you go see a black person that look like Doc. Somebody says here, most parents and grandparents looked at the shape of the child's head. Well, I ain't so sure about that one. So let's go to the telephone. It's going, and see who's with us. Oui Culture, good evening.
Hey, good evening.
Good evening, caller.
How you all getting on there?
We're going good.
Now I'm going to ask you a question. And all of you are going to get it wrong. Why is it that mothers seem more attached to their children?
Well, it's kind of broad. What I find, I'll tell you, what I find is that boys tend to be more attached to their mothers. Mothers and boys seem to have this special thing, and fathers and girls have a special thing going on.
But mothers to try to make sure they carry the man for the daughters, you know.
Well,
you don't know that?
All mothers...
The mother is bad for the son. They don't want the woman coming along the son. But they want the girlfriend, the girl child, to have somebody and hold him down, hold him tight. No, the answer to what I just asked you. Why is it that women seem more attached to the children? Simple and straight, because they are the ones who are most certain that they are the parent. You hear me?
Right.
They are the ones who are most certain. Okay?
All right.
A father could hope, and sometimes the deepest hope can be shattered. Good night.
All right, thank you.
Well, Godfrey, I've always said, I think I said it on the program before, in the absence of the real scientific paternity test that we see now, all man, whether yourself, whether that, everybody,
you're shaky.
We move by faith. Right? Man, fatherhood is faith.
Yes.
Until they got this paternity test, and I remember before they used to do tests with blood. And if you did the blood group and all this kind of trippiness, which is nonsense. Anyway,
that
so that could work, right? But that worked for some time. That was the scientific means they used for a long time. And as far as I'm concerned, the less scientific granny to me was more accurate than that. But in the absence of all that science and so on, all of us live by faith. I mean, that's what the Bible describes as faith. And that's what Reece doesn't seem to understand. That she's sure that children is hard. But the man and show, the man had to depend on a paternity test, a community paternity test, or because, mind you, take it, I mean, I'm sure there is DNA in Grenada here. It's available, I think people could do DNA.
Yeah.
But our culture is not a DNA-driven culture. So, whatever DNA test they have in the hospital where they have it, that must stage they expire.
Just call Granny.
Let me tell you something about what Scholar explaining there. You see this thing that he always trying to push in. He always pushing it in about you're sure, but we not sure, you know. It's starting to sound like he's subliminally trying to tell men, y'all have an excuse to do mine if you don't do. Oh yeah, I'm not sure. And maybe too, I don't need to be sure. No. I don't want to be sure. So if you want me to be sure, you have to pay for the paternity test, you know, so I could be sure. Because I'm not sure, and I don't really want to be sure, you know, because there is an excuse to do mine.
Nobody see.
Never kind of ideas.
Nobody see. There's a.
Y'all stop that. Y'all stop. Last week was your birthday. You do so nice. Look. I feel don't stop that. You all stop that. You have to stop that. But all I say is that I tell the men, you know, we have to continue moving by faith.
But you see, there is something, Scholar, that could fix that, you know, that could set faith aside, you know, and they tell you, when you start in the beginning, because of lack of certainty, you had to mind the child until the child had to look like you. Yeah, and that way fit out the door.
I don't know why you just keep trying to shove that in. Your name called, you're responsible.
You mind until he look like you.
Well, I think that also, and I think that want to say something there, but that also was an argument that has always been used. If you didn't worry,
your name can call.
Right?
That's right.
As if to say that, and mind you, sometimes your name call and you never go there.
Well, you mean sometimes you don't even.
The truth is that in our culture, a lot of women are standing up for a woman now. A lot of women get bad things.
But what do you mean?
So much Scholar was saying about we move by faith. And I think this is something that we all that men know. I mean, when we grow up in society where, I mean, a lot of time there are a lot of uncertainties as it relates to whether the child is yours or not yours in certain instances. And sometimes even when some men are sure, the DNA might say you are not so sure. But you know, there is something that I want to add in that might have you all maybe looking at what I'm bringing in a different situation. Because there is nothing really. While the color just now they make a mention about why mothers are so attached to the children and you know, more than men. There is nothing that is physically or maybe biologically that make us feel that strong attachment to our children. I'm talking about men. Think about what I'm saying. Is society teaches us that if we have a child, that we are going to die for that child, we're going to work for that child, we're going to buy gifts for that child, we're going to do whatsoever it takes to make sure that our children are well taken care of. Society make us know or make us feel that this is our responsibility. But think about it. If in any one situation you might be minding or taking care of a baby that is not yours, you are not doing that because there is any biological bond or any physiological bond that make you do that. You are doing that because society make you believe that that is your role as a father. On the other hand, if you get a lady impregnated and you were not aware.
What a very unfortunate soul you're describing me.
That you are.
What a very unfortunate soul.
Hold on, Reece. That you're not aware that this is your baby. You might pass that child up and down and not feel anything because there is nothing that attach you physiologically or otherwise to that person. So men are operating based on faith. We decide we are going to take care of that baby because it is our societal responsibility. If you don't know that child is yours, there is nothing to make you know. Or you might grow up and you believe that that child in the house, out of the 6 children that you have with your wife, that all the children belongs to you, and you go out on a limb. You would take a bullet for any one of them, but that one you probably took a bullet for is not yours.
Doc, I don't know who you're talking about, you know.
No, I'm just saying, I'm not talking about any one person. I'm just saying that we as men, there is nothing that make you have a bond that physiologically or otherwise that child is that you have a special bond, a special responsibility. The responsibility you have is what society forces you to take on.
Forces you? The one that forces you? If you, as we said before, if you didn't go there, your name would not call. So it's not a force. It's just a responsibility.
So 10 of us must mind that baby.
Well, why are you so disrespectful? Why are you so disrespectful? How is it that you could say 10 of us? You don't say 2?
2.
10? You see women?
So both of us. So both of us.
The 10 is usually on the other side.
No.
So one man have 10 women pregnant.
So the child is me and Scala one.
Hey, Scala don't want no child.
Yeah, but and all of that, you don't have too far right.
Yeah, but I mean.
Yeah, heard children too far right.
No, of course. But I want to, Doc. I want to just.
Public one and a quiet one.
No, 2 public one.
2 public? Oh,
yeah, man. Yeah, 2 public children.
Good living.
2 public father. They don't know which one.
Nice community.
Yeah.
That's why you wanted to chime into something I said.
Yeah, I listen to you carefully. I've been thinking about some thoughts going through my mind, and I'm not sure that you would not feel a bond. Maybe you see the thing, and going back to it. The whole idea of not knowing, I'm not so sure about that. No, you may not know for certain, but I believe if a man and a woman, get involved, if they start to if they're chunky, right? If they're chunky, now at some point, if the woman gets pregnant, now you probably may not know, but some little thing that's kind of have you thinking, even if it's not for a lengthy period. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I believe that somewhere.
There was nothing physiological. You feel you were there during the month of January. And if she was pregnant, then you saw the belly. You see her getting impregnated by March. Then you're wondering why maybe it was me. But there was nothing physiological that make you have that attachment.
I want to sure. What everything Godfrey said. I don't think Godfrey is speaking about. Yeah, go ahead, scholar.
Yeah, but you have to remember that even in our culture, while there might be nothing physiological that binds you, right, or connects you in any way, or links you in any way, but in our culture, there is this belief that once you impregnate a lady, you start to get sick.
He was vomit.
Exactly.
But hold on, as you mentioned that, scholar, many years ago, when we in the very early days of Doctor on Call, when we started that program, and Dr. what was his name? Radix used to be the host. Someone called on the program and asked him that question: why is it that men does get sick if they breed a girl? And his response was, the only reason why he figure they might get sick is if they worry that the child is not theirs. That was his response. That was.
So you're supporting Doc.
Well, not, you see, and that's the thing, it has me kind of thinking. I probably need to think on it some more. But I do believe that sometimes there has be something.
Answer, but I don't buy that answer.
Or they're worried about becoming a father. It's a huge responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
But when men vomit, they just vomit 3 days.
For what? Wait, what?
They doesn't vomit immediately. It's 3 days after.
Hold on. That is what? That is if the man get a girl pregnant. Doc, you have to stop that kind of thing.
Godfrey,
the man when he drink, he might get a karabachuku. That was he vomit. Scholar, why is it my name again? Why is it my name again? Yeah. You give me a name, I forgot the name, man. The name there in the ad, man.
I remember.
By the
Andundun?
No, man. Scar, tell us about a name or something. I forgot the name of the thing. Me, I tell you about man doing an academic chuku and Billy Bang the bitch. But Scar, give us one. Yeah, we are doing to the ad. And you in the ad, you say all of that is the same thing.
No kushume, not chukume or some kind of may or something.
Man, I forgot the name of the thing, you know.
Not man, you must know.
No, man.
That's why you feel that talking about.
Well, no, I'm saying if you vomit it after 3 days, it has to be that. Baby, the man may have gas showing.
But some men will get fever and all kind of thing.
For what?
Yeah.
The fear of becoming a father. That's what the name calls.
So fear, you know, fever.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
Yes. Giving you fever.
Let's go to the telephone. Let's go to the telephone. We have a call on the line. We Culture. Good evening. Hello. Caller, you need to turn down the volume of your device, please. Hello. All right. So we
want to take some comments?
Yes, please. Yeah, let's take some
Good
comments.
night, Hannah. Dodo is saying, do you remember that Calypsonian in Trinidad that sang that song? I am an Indian. My wife is an Indian. She in pregnancy. Go to the hospital, lie down on the bed. Lord, she make a baby. I come and see her. My mommy come and see her. Lord, I want to know, how come I'm an Indian, my wife is an Indian, but she make a Negro popo? But McPhee is saying, break the cycle and mind your child. You help bring them here. So do the right thing for real. Mandisa is saying, Doc, that explains our society. How sad. Alexandra is saying, sometimes they give the child a father just to benefit the family because they know that he is in good position in society. Yeah. Dodo is saying, some men know the child is their child, but they refuse to claim the child for many reasons. Example, in the day you don't see them with a woman because of who she is, but at night is a different story. You don't dare call their name with that woman. So some of those men are just bad-minded. Ronnie is saying some men dream all kinds of things, so that you don't just vomit for 3 days. Dodo is saying, I believe fear gives them anxiety, cold sweat, blood pressure, and diabetes. Laughing out loud. And I believe that too.
Yes. Let's someone says that is the thing, man. What is it? That is the thing. But we have so someone says good night. Interesting topic. It reminds me of my situation after my son's birth. The child is his dad's twin, but because he was born with curly hair, society said a Jerry called here man was the real dad, and his family believe because I was liked by them. So them Jerry called people like the girl. So they say the child is a Jerry called man on. Someone says they say the child fingernail looks like the father. Right. Let's see what else we have here. I don't understand that one. It might come to me just now. All right. So that's it for the WhatsApp comments.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
So among Jericho to make a child.
You making Jericho child, right?
Let's Scala.
Yeah, why not? If you're Jericho, the child's supposed to born with Jericho.
if at that age, that make a child, the child supposed to be a ballet.
The child supposed to be a ball.
The child has to be a ballet. But people don't say so many things. That's Jericho.
Yeah, but the thing is, people saying one thing, and I mean, or they saying all this kind of thing, and strangely, sometimes it'll be true.
Why? That's my point, But the truth is that I believe that God doesn't believe it's I like that trust the science. But I believe it's a hit and miss thing. And the truth is that in our society, while the whole thing stems from the granny, I believe that the granny influence and the granny paternity test is at a younger age. Baby thing.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yeah, but there's a community paternity test that takes over later on.
Well,
so mind you, there can be big man and big old hardback woman that is still going through paternity test.
No, they verification and confirmation period, man.
No man.
But Doc, sometimes it could be a very tricky and difficult thing,
You never, for instance,
Scholar, once you see that which are 15, most time is like village, it is confirmed. That is color child. By that age,
yeah, but let me tell you, I met a gentleman, a big old man, about 5 months ago. I saw the man. I thought the man was a man I knew very well. And I was going based on that assumption that I knew the man well.
Right.
And me and the man had some dealings. And when me and the man had dealings, I spoke to the man as if I knew the man. He realized that. And the man tell me, ask me, who do you think me is? And he called the particular name. So me said, tell him, so not you are it? Man tell me, no. And the man said to me, why you real people tell me that this is?
Yeah.
I started one day.
Yeah.
But the man look picture this next man. I thought was the next man.
Right.
No, there are people like that. There are people who look very, very, very much.
But when they really did Scholar?
But the man say he don't know. He don't know the next man. People are just telling that. And people are telling that so much that he know the next man name. So he has.
But he ain't know the next man. And he ain't know the next man.
But he don't know the next man, though. Because one from Whiting Sorters and one from St. David's.
They should do a paternity test.
Which one?
Both of them, they do a paternity to see if they are brothers. No, sorry. They do a DNA test. They do a test to see if they are brothers, not a paternity test.
Yeah. Someone is saying here that my children's father used to eat plenty sour things and vomiting every morning for some time. Somebody says here, Godfrey, you and Doc can't claim a child that born with hair. So that did you see? Reece, tell him I hear in my head now.
Yes, I saw it. I saw that you have hair on your head, and also that you decided you are growing it back because you are going into dreads.
Yeah, I've been locked just now.
Yes. So public announcement.
Well, you see, I starting to sing. I go sing.
Yes.
I know when you have to sing, you have to have it's supposed to have locks when you're singing. Imagine Scholar and all grade locks to sing.
That's right.
I thought you would tell me by time legends, you hear what I mean? you would already flash out.
No, next year. Let me see. There's a right. So right, Godfrey, I come from an Indian family, and the child's real father family comes from an Indian background also. The reason for his curly hair up till this day. But because both me and the dad hair isn't curly, they said is the Jericho man child. That was the person who speak about the Jericho child.
Quoting.
Yes, of course.
That's somewhat logical now.
All right, so yeah, that's about it for the WhatsApp. Let's go back to the telephone. Oui Culture, good evening. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening, caller.
Yes, could we have a question to ask? Why is it that social services takes people children and asks for paternity testing to who is a father? Whereas we know definitely that children have to be taken from them, being abused or abandoned. Could you explain that for me, please? Thank you.
Well, I can't explain that. I know why.
We don't know that. She said that, but we don't know that they are people.
I can't answer that question. That question hard. It's a hard question, but.
Yeah, I mean, she sounds like a very concerned person, so I don't necessarily see her as somebody that, well, might be abusive of children. She might want the children, but there must be a reason why social.
Yeah, I think there must be something.
They are, what could be that reason? Yeah.
Let's go back to.
I could understand. Sometimes you remove the child from a particular home if it is abusive, but having to do the paternity test, because I believe that a child can grow up in a home, and if the child is loved, whether this father is real or not, in a sense, I don't think it makes much of a big difference.
Maybe the father is not there and they want to prove that there's a father so they could have an option for placement of the child.
Or maybe an option to see in terms of child support.
Well, all of that,
yeah. So how they want
so the father
yes, I agree.
Yeah, because I don't think you could. Yeah. Let's go to the telephone again. Oui Culture, good evening.
Hello, good night.
Hey.
Good night, everybody.
Yes.
Good night.
Yeah, I like that topic, boy. But let me tell you something. When you hear a child is not a man, he might need a child better than his own blood, you know.
Yes.
But there's bad fella throwing them too much, you know. Yeah, and let me kind of cut something to make a little sense now. You know, the past 2 weeks I was kind of sad, but this week coming there, I kind of jolly because me little grandnephew going off to Germany. We're going to Germany in football camp, so we have a lot of food on the ground here tomorrow for me to raise little funds. So I buy food,
Right, nice.
Yes, and I do some can for him today. I make a little raise fund for can with him today, so things kind of work out nice. So I just say that something to make sense, because all that is part of paternity test too. You understand?
Right.
Like my blood. Yeah, so by them people don't like that children and them too much. They just bad for them. And Livingston says something about something. A child is not yours, and you mind the child and you get so attached to the child. I mind a grandchild in mine from 10 months to all now. And you know what he asked me one day? He he asking me, Susan, who is Ronaldo mother? I said, but you and Ronaldo is same mother. He said, I said, but you and Ronaldo is same mother. I just take you when you are 10 months. So he feel easy mother, you know, because the treatment he get. You understand? Yeah. So I was still, you know, like Susan is the mother, that is Susan last child. But that not me last child, that me second grandchild. I only take him when he had 10 months to go in hurricane shelter and I never bring him back. You understand? So sometimes when children get attached to you, you have them like if it's yours and then the child come and he feel well, you know, like he doesn't want to see who really he belongs to. It's the treatment and the loving and the caring and what you give them. So children don't stupid. I think I want the government to do ban ramen. I find children eating too much ramen. Yeah, give them good food. Children don't getting good food these days. I want them to ban ramen. I don't cook in that in my kitchen. I don't want it in my garbage bin. Yeah. Anyway, good night.
All right, all the best. Lovely. All right. No. I have a question to ask you. Time is almost gone. Why is it that our race, we always tend, so when you're in a situation with children, all right, why is it that our race tend, they're quick to move themselves out as compared to the white people who quick to claim children? And I'm talking about men. Okay, so simply put, our race, we try to move away from children. In other words, get away from the responsibility. But white people just run to it. I never understand that.
Oh, you're too good.
Let me tell you something.
Is that really thing about?
Let me tell you something. There was one time, I rode on that was the first trip I could never forget. Going car with us and water bad. Water real bad. The first baptism water bad. So I watch a whole. And when I watch mostly everybody home. But you have two little white people. Two little white people enjoy eating. They wish the boat could have get on over.
They wish the boat could have capsized.
I mean, look, some white people just get a deal. I can't think they're going to white people just strange, right? When people just do, when people like adventure, they like this guy, for them, this thing and them is adventure. That is why you see. They don't normal. That's why you see if white people come to grade and they decide, boy, they come in and down the tentacles here. They ain't looking for a man with nice fruit, short and dark shirt. You don't want that, though. You want some more shot to put them in the heel.
No, but they are strange in truth. They are strange in truth. I mean, you look at some of these people on them and they would practically make confusion with the real father for a child. If it's a black man, the black man want to be the other man for he to marry the child. I don't understand that. I don't understand that.
If I understand the question, I don't know if it's the question you did ask. Why do black people seem not to take on the responsibility while white people do take on the responsibility with the children?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But it's
if there is some, let's say some doubt about some child, a black man will take out with one speed. You made that take care of white people.
They run into it.
The white people run into it, dog. Yeah.
They run into it.
Yeah.
Anyway, fellas, I mean, there is so much more to talk about, and I'm sure we have to continue because we have not even looked at the fallout of this paternity test. So there's a lot more. I am seeing about 2 more programs along with that, because of course paternity test exposes the 4-letter word. It exposes the 4-letter word. So
and then, funny enough, while I was thinking about the program this evening, a good friend of mine, a lady friend, I saw, it's a long time I see her, so I say, hey, well, I find you drop some weight, but. And she tell me, boy, I have a target.
Well, let me go and get it. So, and all of these things that are fallouts from the paternity test.
Yeah.
You understand? Because it exposes the 4-letter word, and then when the 4-letter word comes into play, then it takes you straight into what you're just talking about.
Yeah, which is, and that is a dangerous sickness.
Yeah, what do you mean? That is a serious.
That time self you live in the dark of the sun.
Yeah, you live in more than dark of the sun. You become the dark of the sun. You become the dark of the sun. Well, anyway, guys, that's all the time we have. Folks, we'll be out next week, as we said. And I'll let her come because Scholar has something special he had to let go. Scholar, why are you letting go?
About some land.
Yes.
Once I didn't let this, I was enjoying myself, and then on top of that, this year I'll be celebrating 30 years of Kaiso. 30 years in the business.
That whole child of mine there, like twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, 30 years. It's a long time. So
very long time.
I did not have a 30-year celebration. I don't believe in 30. So I had a 25, but this 30 thing do I feel.
But remember, Posa have a calypso about that, he too. Remember, he said this 30 too long.
Yeah. I don't want this 30 thing. So
okay.
So I had the 25 years, but not the 30.
You go with 40?
All that to go. Even 34th, I want that.
Yeah.
No.
But in 30 years, hopefully, I can do something special for legends.
Just do it for the ladies, okay? All the 30s, just do it for the ladies.
Yeah, and coming back after a 3-year break, from COVID, I think a lot of people anticipation is high. So I think, and people coming to hear how you're standing up against Croco, in the clash,
Or standing up against Croco?
Yeah, people feel Croco bad as he has it.
You are standing up against Croco, go shot, go follow.
You were younger time out.
Younger, but I think that legends, well, we have taken a 3-year break, but it's a show I believe that go like for the one thing that's stickler for time. And legends, the man that does follow for this time too. That does get on with time as though it's not a great area. But I want thing legends does get on just as though whoever what is the big man legend is not a great area. Only starting 7 o'clock, bam, bam, bam. There was one time I had to sing Force in Legend. I reached 1 past 7. Where are you going on? Yeah,
you were supposed to be there before, so they know you were there for 7.
You're supposed to be there 6 o'clock?
And that to me was one of the best legends. I dress in the car, I I leave my car because I couldn't get back. I leave my car in the gate, and the gate man packed my car for me, tied the outside. I said, "Boss, I'm coming back," and I dressed in the car, and from the car, Robert White just take me straight on the stage. Straight on the stage. Yeah, that was the time I did the ballad.
Yes, yeah.
So I mean, the cast is an exciting cast. Everybody are passing in tongue and everybody telling me, careful what I do. So I don't know what is it that careful what I do.
Yeah, careful.
And they telling me, when I ask him what I mean with them, what I mean, careful what I'm doing, I cannot perform it.
That's right.
Go with you.
That's right.
But
people are well into the thing, and we should take the cameras up there and put out the We Culture.
oh, well, that is a big cultural event, you know. That has become part of the culture of Calypso in Grenada.
Godfrey, I am forgetting you because we started on our church in January, and that's my final comment, sir. Sum it up. I think started on our church since January. Well, years ago, that could have asked for that. I asked for that. You see, asked for that. You say coming. But always just say thing coming out of coming. But there you have it. But we must have a We Culture Day.
No, actually, but no, definitely.
Definitely.
But yeah, man, back COVID, we had COVID, man.
Scholar, don't let the man brambles us now.
No, but we had COVID. But remember, we had COVID.
Yes, for the 50th.
COVID, yeah. So for the
Godfrey,
because the anniversary is coming up. The anniversary is in August.
Yeah. COVID that stopped We Culture Day, you know.
What we know is that we don't want this polo shirt and again. We don't want this polo shirt again. I don't wear no unisex polo shirt. I'm a lady. I'm not wearing no polo shirt that man could wear too. And I'm talking for Jose too.
I understand that, yeah.
And come with hot colors. Hot.
Purple?
Eh?
Purple?
I don't know.
Scholar like purple, you know.
Purple like what we wear there.
What is Anyway, guys, let me say thank you to all our friends on Facebook, YouTube. It's a pleasure. We'll be off next week. I guess nobody wouldn't mind because yes. Also, we have some final comments. Yes.
Yeah, we needed to take that. So I have one here. Reece tell Doc the analysis here is not society. I interpret the psychosocial aspect as what stimulates the responsibility there. Then that was WhatsApp. On Facebook now we have Virginia wants to know, Scholar, how do you spell that? What is it? Posh or Posh?
Doom de Bouche Posham.
Pushe Posha.
Doom de Bouche Posham.
Tell her it is not something to spell, it's something to pronounce.
Okay.
Yes.
So they're saying, don't forget you can have twins and they both do not have to be the same father. It has happened. Lenora is saying lots of men know but don't like their name mentioned, while some women and women do the same. Marilyn is saying plenty fathers get 619 as paternity test in those days because of looks, and once you say is your child, you have to accept because dating was not open. You're only seeing barely big. Dodo is saying a lot of fathers today still support child or children who they know is not their child. Kudos to them. Alexandra is saying because at sometimes it does be very beneficial to the white people. Okay, that's why they grab children. Let's see. Dodo is saying a child will grow up believing that his or her father is X. At an adult age, a child will get to know the real father and form a relationship with that father, but stay attached to the father they knew as a child. Is that a win-win for that person or a state of confusion? And her last comment is for us to have a very good weekend, great program. Number of other people wish the same.
Yes, indeed. Doc, your closing comments.
but it would change. Not from this program, which was a great program. Two things. I went up to Fisherman's Birthday, and I actually saw the RGPF put on a display, and they were promoting Eat Local, and they had some yam bread and things like that. And just really I believe, hats off to the RGPF for that kind of initiative. I thought it was really, really good from their side of you to be doing something like that. So I really like that. And I know they explained they were working with some schools. So that was a great initiative for us. The second thing.
Hold on. Police on the yam bread.
That is what they say, we're RGPF and they're working with schools.
God, we have to finish. Because we establish a Oui Culture that I think there are the most is yam. So it's not very big yam bread.
Where they get yam? Yam can go in police station.
Yeah?
Yam can go in where they get yam?
The police are going to teach yam.
Yeah, well, maybe scholar, maybe there's a maybe
anyway,
actually it could be all of that. All I say, let me add to this part of that. I like that. Maybe he has something there in a scholar. Maybe if there's people to thief yam, they will be able to hold them thief on them because they don't know who it is. Who thief in yam. Anyway, Doc, there you go.
Yeah, the final thing, Scholar, sometime you need to help me with that because you are part of that whole grouping. We are raising funds. The Tivoli Drummers, we've had an invitation to go to the US. We are raising funds. Tomorrow we are out of Grenville in the Anglican schoolyard. We will be playing a little and selling breakfast. And in Tivoli, we'll be doing barbecue opposite the gas station. So please come out, support Tivoli Drummers. We need some funds. We're doing what we can to raise the funds for ourselves. Again, great program, guys. And everybody listening, have a good night. See you when I can see you. When the big boss say next time around, we're going to be here.
A week after, yeah. Well, folks, thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys. And of course, everyone, remember, those of you, if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, please hurry. Yeah? They I don't want to say they're almost gone, but just hurry and get your tickets. And you can also get them on Go to Fed.
A lady asked me today where she getting tickets.
You have tickets in all the Gittins Healthcare Pharmacies. So on Wall Street, in Guave at Gittins Healthcare, that's close to the Nutmeg Pool there. In Grenville, Gittins by the car park. You could also get Clear Vision Eye Center on the Carnage, St. David's Pharmacy, Springs Food Mart, and also Gittins Pharmacare. That's on Halifax Street in St. George's, and of course on Go to Fed. So you can just go on to gotofed.com and you can get tickets there. I see a number of people buying the tickets there already. So folks, get your tickets, and please, we're asking you to be seated by 7 p.m. because we're starting promptly at 7:30. So don't come after 8 and then come on.
Start getting dressed since 4.
That's right. Gates opening, the door will be open from 5. So people can come in. And let me tell you, there's a certain group of people from Sutton that's come now with 2 buses. When I reach down there 5 o'clock, they just be inside sitting patiently, waiting for them to come to give us the ticket. So come early, folks, and we're gonna have a good time. As the lady say, come let me roll up the tassa. Be safe. Good night, everyone. All the best. Do take care. See you guys on Oui Culture in 2 weeks.
The intelligence service.
Kindly greasy pole, and we don't dance round the maypole. Raise it high up the ladder, let we set it on fire. A little more calypso, forget the funk and the disco. A little more